vidIQ.com.
We're back to the podcast. Of course, you're excited. You've been waiting all week for this, and we're back. And like I said, like I promised last time, Jen's back. What's up, Jenn?
I'm here.
Promise. People were like, where's Jenn? I said, listen, I explained to you. Sometimes she's busy because y'all signing up for coaching. Calm down.
Like doing their job, signing up for coaching. And I'm over here just drowning. Drowning in creator love.
We're trying to figure out exactly how to make this better and easier for her because she's busy with y'all, but y'all love her. So it's like, how do we have her here and have her help it? It's a thing. We're working on it. Jen and I are working on it.
We clone Jenn. We now have Jenn 18 and Jenn V2.
Jenn 18 is the one we've been obsessing over for the past week. For those of you who missed that episode, you need to go back 2 episodes and find out what Jenn 18 is. But in the last episode, when I was here with Dan, I said that we were going to we had so many questions come in on both the audio podcast and here in the emails that we would split them up. And that's what we did. So we did the last episode, we read all the emails or the text messages from the audio podcast, which if you're listening through the audio podcast, there's a link that says text us, and you can text us right from there. And that's what we read last time. And now we're going to go through the emails, which is theboost@vidIQ.com. And I cannot tell you how many times, Jenn, people ask me, what's the email? What's the email? I'm like, bro, we say it like 16 times, every single message, every single podcast. I can't keep saying it. I say it a lot. And the thing is, I don't want to just give it to them outside. Cause I'm like, if you listen to the podcast, I've said it 5 times. You didn't hear me say it. It makes me wonder if we give you advice, if you're going to hear that advice. I'm kind of stingy that way. I'm being grumpy, Travis, today. Let's get into some other stuff.
This is me trying to plug my headphones. I'm taking them off right now.
For the people watching the YouTube, they get to see her plugging her headphones in.
Not doing a good job.
She's trying, though. She's trying. You can see her trying. It's going to make it. And she got it. I heard it click. No, it didn't click. Take them off and look at it and play. These are the things that we do on the podcast that you never get to see. All right.
I was really, really determined because I was like, if I take them off and then they connect to my phone or some crazy Apple stuff.
Right? In another room or something?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, let's get into these emails. Of course, emails to theboost@vidIQ.com. And the first subject from Harry is called A Bouquet of Questions.
Oh, well, doesn't that sound lovely and romantic?
It does. Hey again, Jenn, Travis, and Dan. It's funny because you just missed them by 1 week. You missed them literally by 1 week. First off, thanks for answering my question a few podcasts ago. It definitely instilled the well-needed confidence I needed with my voice. Now, I'll try to make it short and direct. Though I have 3 questions in list form. I will actually try to get through them in points. Cough, cough, Jenn. Okay. I think this is trying to get through the points. Anyway, all right, let's get to it. Okay. My channel is documentary style.
Love it.
You mentioned the last episode about monetization issues. Should I begin to show my face to counteract claim possibilities? I think that's in reference to when we talked about reuse and copyright, because remember we did a whole episode about like copyright things.
Oh,
and, like,
yeah.
Certainly wouldn't hurt to show your face. I think at that point you prove that it's new content, right? I mean, that makes sense.
I mean, I also think it's just like a win-win in general because you're connecting with people more.
Yeah, I love the fact you say it's a win-win. That's a great way of thinking of it. It's not just for copyright. No, it's win-win. Let people connect with you. I think that's a good idea. Okay, second question is, I've begun to dislike my name. Get in line, brother. I'm already there. I've been there for years. Did you know that Travis isn't my first name?
Wait, what?
I mean, I'm not going to tell you what it is, obviously, because I would have been going by it if it is.
Wait, stop, because Jenn is not my first name either.
No, stop it.
No, okay, I'm just kidding.
See, look at you. You got me. Gosh, man, I can't believe she got me on that. We had a connection point. Nah, bro. She lied. Let me get back to this email because now you're making me frustrated. That was too easy. You got me. All right. Number 2, I begin to dislike my name, especially since it's abstract and hard to pronounce. Quinsic quotes. Yeah, because it's like quintoxic quotes. Will a rebrand to something more intimate, Hizzle is a nickname, harm me or should I just go for it? Okay. So it's not going to harm you, especially if you're kind of newer. I think the thing is when you very first start a YouTube channel, and Jenn, I'm sure you can attest to this, you're just kind of throwing stuff out there. Sometimes the name of the channel isn't even something you're sold on. You just want to start getting content out there. So you're not thinking about it. And then later on, as you get established, you're like, I don't really like that name anymore. I'm okay with changing names early as possible. Like when not a lot of people have connected with your channel yet, and they're just kind of like starting to find it. Like do it early, because if you have the 10 to 20,000 subscribers and you're trying to change your name, it's gonna come off kind of weird. What do you think about that, Jen?
I think it's almost inevitable. I feel like at some point you're gonna want to, or you're gonna change the channel name. I guess if you can do it as soon as possible, it's for the better. But I just had a discussion with a couple people the other day of like super large channels that have like rebranded in the past month. And we're talking like 1 million+ channels. And to me as a viewer, I mean, it didn't bother me. I didn't care because honestly, I didn't even really notice. I saw a video pop up. I saw a thumbnail I recognized. I click on it. I don't know if I really pay that much attention to the creator's name. Does that make sense?
That's interesting that you say that, because I think it depends on the content. I feel like if it's a personality-based channel that's super heavy personality-based, you do connect the name, don't you think?
Well, so I'm talking about like specifically the channel Pro Home Cooks.
Okay.
And then he rebranded it to his name.
So going more specific, I'm down with that.
I feel like that's less specific.
That's his name.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with cooking or anything.
Oh, he's still cooking and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I guess the attempt is to branch out to not be like trapped in the kitchen for content, but so to me, like I don't care what it.
That's a great name for a channel, Trapped in the Kitchen for Content. So there you go. Look, off the top of your head, you literally made the best channel name.
Hold on, let me just register.
Yeah, we're going. Let's do that real
quick.
Trapped in the Kitchen.
Let me get that at. Yeah, I don't know. To me as a viewer, and this is what I challenge people to do all the time, is like you, even though you're a creator, you are still a viewer. So like, what does that make you feel like as a viewer? For me personally, it's not really something that I notice just because I'm already familiar with their content. I see it pop up. I know what their thumbnail looks like. I know what I'm going to be interested in, and I know what to expect.
Makes sense. Yeah, the thing I like about this podcast is that we don't agree on every single thing in the exact same way. I think that's perfect. Because I feel like if you're in any kind of platform and you hear the same thing and everyone agrees with everything, it seems kind of weird. Because even if you're with your best friend in life, you don't agree on everything, right? That's just kind of weird. Otherwise, you're just the same person.
It is weird. Yeah.
So I like that we have different looks at this. I think we're both right. Now, the third question, which is the best one. What is the one thing you both think is overlooked when creating a YouTube video? And your newest super fan, Harry. I love this question.
Stop! This is amazing. I think this is like my favorite question. Ah! See, now we're just gonna go and agree with each other.
See, we're just doing the opposite of what I just said. No.
Ooh.
This is a great question.
This is the YouTube I'm here for.
Yes. Yes. What is the one thing overlooked well, I think there's a lot of things, but if we have to choose one, Jen, what are you choosing? You can only choose one.
Only choose one.
I mean, because you could go for the easy thing like thumbnails or titles or audio. I mean, they're all accurate. But what do you think the number one thing is most overlooked? And we'll say by beginning creators. We won't even say like, larger creators. We'll just say by beginning creators and see what we think there.
I would say, honestly, personality. Personality specifically within your packaging. I think that it's super exciting when I get to work with a creator or I come across a creator who is not afraid to just shy away from what is a normal title and really add their own language in and have fun with it. Have thumbnails that really show off, what we expect when we click in. And I mean, this might be a little bit more lifestyle based, but that to me is just, and I get why. I get why it's not done because you want to do what works. You don't want to, wait longer for things to happen. But for me, if you're going to show up like that, when you get that opportunity for YouTube to push your content and people come back to your page and it is so obvious who you are, then people are just going to fall in love like that. Like, it is just going to be made for you. I don't know.
I like
feel like
that.
That's kind
I
of...
like that. I'm gonna go slightly deeper because he says it's overlooked, and I think it is overlooked because it's hard to even understand, even as an intermediate creator, and that is tying everything together: thumbnail, title, topic, video, like everything being one complete package. And I say this because recently, the quote Mr. Beast handbook leaked online. If you guys aren't aware,
did you read the whole thing?
I read most of it.
I didn't finish it yet.
So a lot of it is stuff that we know. I think for content creators, it's interesting to read, especially beginning content creators. I don't know how you'd find it. There was a link on LinkedIn. Maybe I can put it in the show notes and description. I'll have to go back and find the link. But basically what it is, it's a handbook for employees of Mr. Beast. And he kind of goes over all the things that he thinks you should do, working there. Now, to be clear, not every single thing is something that every single YouTube creator should do. However, it is an interesting look into the mind of someone who's obsessed over YouTube and how to get things to work. So one of the things he does mention, and I've always believed this, is that the whole package, the thumbnail, title, video, everything needs to be one thing because your expectations have to be met. He talks about this in one of the early pages of this handbook. I think it's a 36-page handbook, and it's probably in the first like 5 or 6 pages. And it's important because it's one of the things that YouTube looks at is like, did this person click in and then click away right away? Did they ever go back to that channel? And these are things that you're trying to set as an expectation. The title, thumbnail, and video. Do they all make sense? If I click on this thumbnail and title that makes me think this video is about Batman, and in the first 3 seconds it's Superman and Batman's nowhere to be found, I'm out, right? Like it's an obvious thing. But a lot of times as creators, we're just trying to figure out, okay, what's the clickiest thumbnail I can put in, and then what's a good title? They don't necessarily even match. And then once I'm 5 seconds into the video, does that match anything that I just made the title and thumbnail about? And a lot of times the answer is no. So I feel like that's a thing that's a super skill that takes a long time to if you ever actually master it, it takes a long time too.
See, now you're talking like advanced YouTube, and I'm like,
yeah.
I think the most satisfying thing, like, to kind of tie where I thought you were going with this was more of like a hero's journey storyline where all of the concepts keep kind of tying into each other throughout the video. And I was like, that's super, super satisfying. But I'm like, that's probably not what we're here saying.
No, that's actually, you're absolutely right. I always forget the name of the phrase, the superhero's journey, but it's true. It's not just, so what I'm saying is that does your thumbnail and title match the rest of the content so that you feel satisfied at the end? And I think that is part of what you're saying there. It's this whole concept that this is a one big thing. And it's one of the unique things in an artistic endeavor where you are doing multiple things. As a painter, you're just painting. Maybe you're coming up with the subject matter and stuff, but you're painting. But as a YouTuber, you're the producer, the editor, director, the script writer, the talent. You're everything. The tax man. Like everything. A PR, HR, all the things. So it is hard to be good at all of those things. I just think that one of the things that gets lost in trying to herd all the cats of being a content creator is that you're trying to create something that's a whole package that someone can digest and accept and like and enjoy. Something to think about.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think, oh my gosh, I'm like, we could talk about storytelling for like 2 hours straight. Like, if you want to see a perfect example of this, watch through Ryan Trahan's videos. I think he does a fantastic job. Very specifically, this is a format he follows. So if you don't really know what we're talking about, it'd be a great channel to check out and look for that specifically. Even if you already watch it, be aware of it. Instead of wearing your viewer hat, put on your creator hat when you're watching. It's an assignment I tell so many of my creators.
I love it. I love the homework.
So much homework.
Listen, you got to give homework. I would give homework to when I was coaching content creators all the time. Like, here's some homework. I hated homework in high school, but I love giving it.
Oh.
Remember a couple of weeks ago, we had that podcast where we talked about faceless and voiceless channels. We were just trying to figure out like what the concept is behind for people who do both of those things. Last episode when Dan was here, we actually got a message from someone who had both, and they had a really good piece of feedback about that. But we have another message, this time by email, about the same concept. This one's from Samo tries cat stuff.
AI channels.
Yeah, here we go. Samo tries cat stuff. Hello. Thank you for an interesting show. I just listened to your last podcast where you asked about voice and faceless channels. The simple personal explanation I can give for you from my perspective is privacy and paranoia. Many people, by the way, they said that. I didn't say that. Many people talk too little about voice cloning and how it's used to extort money and other various reasons. Before I go any further in this email, let me just say that's an interesting point. It is true that there are cloning things out there, and they've been used as social engineers thing. It's kind of the percentage of the low percentage of the low percentage. And I feel like there are certain things that you should be aware of. And as a YouTuber, one of the first things you need to do is there's two things I think that are worth the investment. Number one, sign up to something like Delete Me, which I use. It's great to get all your personal information wiped from as much of the internet as possible. It can't get everything off, but it definitely helps. And two, getting something like Life Alert or LifeLock, where, you know, if anything of yours is used anywhere, it alerts you. I use all that as well.
Isn't Life Alert when you like fall down the stairs when you're old? Yeah,
not Life Alert, LifeLock, LifeLock. They sound similar. Jen, this is the second time in this podcast you're clowning me.
Travis, you needed to eat before this. We have learned our lesson.
By the way, I'm starving. So yes, my brain is only on half capacity right now.
Travis is over here pitching Life Alert for YouTubers.
It's true. I wonder if they have an affiliate program. Try to get Life Alert. I've fallen and I can't get up. Listen.
I couldn't let it go. I'm sorry. I couldn't let it go.
LifeLock.
I couldn't.
LifeLock. Listen to me. It's LifeLock. Okay. Anyway, those are two great programs to put yourself in, because the reality is, while most YouTubers never have to deal with this, some do. I have friends that have been swatted and such. One good thing to do, it's really easy. You can take, and this is free, is to go into your blocked words section in the YouTube studio and put in things like your phone number, your address, and your real full name. That way, no one can, in comments section, if they try to dox you, put it in your comments. It gets blocked. So that's that. Okay, let's go back to this email, though. I don't care if people call me paranoid. I will never show my face or real voice. My channel is 99% voiceless and faceless. Apart from privacy reasons, it's also about what the channel is about. In my case, cats, or should I say mostly my own cat. Now, again, before I finish this email, makes sense for you to be faceless and voiceless there. If your channel's about cats, we don't need to see you. Let's go back to the email.
That's true.
Those who watch my channel are almost exclusively interested in cats, not me as a person. And I have unfortunately seen others make the mistake of mixing themselves with their cat videos, and it becomes a strange collection of viewers who can certainly appreciate both, but prefer one. The last percent, which consists mostly of extremely few videos, is where I use a voice changer, not AI voice. This is also because it becomes easier to translate into other languages rather than texting everything by hand. But mostly my channel is faceless and voiceless due to privacy and the fact that my motive is hobby driven, not money driven. Love that. That's great, Samo. Thanks for sharing that. That's great. See, this is the thing. It's what makes this podcast so great. Jen and I had a moment where we're like, we can't think of any reasons why someone would do that artistically other than, you know, trying to make money quick. But we also knew in that moment, we're like, we're probably wrong about that. So please email us. And you know what? We've gotten really great emails from people for these last two episodes giving the reasons, and they all make sense to me. Totally get it. I'm down with it. I love that.
I love that too. I mean, I'd be here for the cats too.
Cat
smart.
YouTube. That is the meta, if it ever has been. Okay, here we go. This one's from Silas. Hello, Jen and Travis, and whoever else may be on the pod. I have a small channel about game development. As a student, I only have 2 hours a day to work on YouTube or game development. I'm understandably growing rather slowly due to the fact that I'm making content rather slowly due to lack of time, about one video a month. I'm a game developer first, but would you recommend that I work more on YouTube to increase content quality? And if so, should I increase quality or quantity? Which of course is the question everyone asks. And for some extra context, I have 23 subscribers and been YouTubing for about 4 months. Quality versus quantity. The eternal YouTube question. It never goes away.
I feel like there's always a way to compromise. I don't feel like we always have to look at this as like one or the other, where it's like, get more videos out, but they're total crap. Where it's like, well, what if we just you know, get an extra video out and spend a little less time on transitions or something. I think this person, if they're developing games, I already feel like they're probably waiting. This is an assumption. I feel like they're probably waiting until the game is fully developed to put out a video. And it's like that, I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, I mean, even if so, let's try to answer specifically, but then also generally, so other people can get some stuff from this. Is, you know, for people doing coding and stuff, I've worked with a couple of different creators that are game developers, and kind of showing how things work, or how to break things, or how a bigger game works, and showing how you can make your version of it has always done well for channels. But like, generally speaking, quality versus quantity, I think, to understand that sometimes quality, first of all, is always subjective. So let's start there.
Fair.
You can look at some large creators with tons of views that don't do a thumbnail at all, and just sit there and look at a camera with no B-roll and anything, and they get millions of views. Is that quality? To their audience, it is, right? So if you're talking about like super B-roll and like all the cinematic stuff, it could be that you're in a niche where you don't need that. And if that's the case, then take advantage of that and try to do some, we talked about batch recording a couple of weeks ago. Try to record 2 or 3 videos at a time, even if you don't edit them. If you have an hour worth of time that you're chunking across, you're like, listen, I'm going into my calendar and I'm blocking this off. See how many videos you can record in that time. Don't worry about editing them. Just talk. Don't worry about what's going to happen. And then go, okay, that's the first video. Then hit stop, and then hit record, and then talk. See how many you can get done in an hour. And then the next time you have time, block off editing and just edit. That's one way you can do it. There's tons of ways you can do it. But that's just one way to kind of give yourself an idea of like quantity versus quality. Now, the quality, it still needs to be interesting.
Yep.
And we still need to be hooked. We still need to have value. We need all these things. But I feel like if you're, especially if you're just starting out, getting your reps in, as they call it, is one of the best things. For a new creator, Jen, how do you tell people to get their reps in and to get better? What should they be paying attention to as they're doing this?
Well, working with a coach, we try to pick out one specific thing from the previous video that we're going to improve on in the next video. So it's not really an overall approach. It's definitely a very intentional, one small change approach per video. But the main thing is getting those videos out, getting over the fact that honestly, they're never going to be perfect.
Right.
And if you stay at the cadence that you're at, that's only going to be 12 videos a year. And that's just not enough data for YouTube. That's what it comes down to, just the facts. And of course, videos, I mean, yes, videos could absolutely do well. You could kind of beat the odds and they could be really successful. But, you know, the chances.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's a numbers game. Just like you said, Jen, 12 in 1 year means you are hinging your entire year's success on 12 videos. And just by the nature of, putting out 10 videos, you're going to have a 9 of 10 and a 10 of 10, right? So if you look at those 12 videos, at least 3 of them are going to be, quote, stinkers, ones that don't go anywhere. And then the other ones are going to be kind of mid, and you might have 1 or 2 that are good, which means your entire success, most growth during your channel is going to be based on 2 videos for the entire year. Nah, you don't want to do that, son. It's too risky. So definitely, if you can figure out a way to get more out by optimizing your time, that's how you do it. All right. This one's from Sean. I don't know why this is all in like gray text. Let me see if I can read it.
Oh.
Hey, here we go. Hey, Jen and Travis, 18. Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
What? That's so funny.
We love that. Or whoever is subbing for her because she's taking another. I Jen and didn't finish my sentence.
Wait, I love Sean.
Yeah, Sean is a super fan because he literally just did multiple inside jokes in the same email within the first sentence. Wow. I am blown away already.
Sean's in the fam.
Sean is deep into the boost. Okay. You two are amazing, and so is your channel. Keep it up, and you'll overtake the main channel. Similar videos in the future. We hope so. We hope so.
Oh.
Okay, here we go. On to the questions. Can you comment on posting videos that are already on YouTube to other platforms? For example, I have shorter videos, not shorts, that I think would work well on X. If I upload the same exact video X that is already on YouTube, will that cause any problems? I've seen a few creators warn about posting the exact same video on multiple platforms. However, they use Rumble as an example of another platform. I'm specifically interested in X and Facebook. Okay, so let's tackle that question first. No, it's not a problem. However, when doing this, think about because when you release something on YouTube, you have a lot of analytics, especially when it comes to retention. So you hopefully have an idea of what the retention is like on YouTube. That retention on something like X or Facebook might be different. So you might want a slightly different edit, maybe faster paced on X. And I say this because X is more of a messaging platform. And while there are videos there, people are swiping through things. And if they're only going to watch for a couple, like if you have a 7-minute video on YouTube, this might be a 2.5-minute video on X that might be successful. It might not be a full 7 minutes, like, because people are swiping so much, right? So remember that. But on Facebook, people read posts the entire time. They'll just sit there for a long time. So you probably could just put the whole full 7-minute thing on Facebook. Don't, this isn't by law, like just experiment, but that's kind of my initial thoughts. What do you think, Jen?
I think, I don't know too much about X, but I have seen creators be very, very successful on Facebook with YouTube videos.
Yeah.
So the audience is there.
Yeah. I definitely think, and by the way, you're getting more bang for your buck. You're spending all that time shooting and editing and producing a video, put it out in multiple places and let them be met. Let more people see them. Yeah. So no problems as far as like putting them on other platforms. Okay. Number 2. My channel is focused on cruises, and I have a book on Amazon that is a travel journal for the Caribbean. If I mention it in a video and tell viewers it's available on Amazon, should that mark the video as sponsored? I wrote the book and it's my channel. Can I sponsor myself in YouTube's eyes?
Why is this question so fun?
I'm doing the mental gymnastics for this right now.
Well, you would want to check the video is sponsored if you paid yourself from the company. From your company as,
but you're getting payment,
like a contracted help.
But he'll get payment for it if they buy it.
Yeah, right? But you don't have to check sponsored if you do like a merch drop.
No, so yeah, that's a good point. So so I've actually emailed the FCC about this before, and or is it FCC or FTC? I forget. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I emailed them, and what they're mainly looking for is so probably the easy answer is no, you don't have to do it. The safe answer is just click it anyway, because who cares? And that way you're covered. The reason why I don't think you have to is because the whole point of these rules is to make it apparent to viewers that when you say something is good, it's obvious whether you were paid or not for it. Now, when it's your book, I think it's pretty obvious that you've been paid for it. You're going to say it's good. Yeah, and these are things you can look up in the the influencer guidelines.
Actually, you know what? You don't, because I'm thinking literally I'm thinking specifically Joshua Wiseman right now. Never checked on his videos. He drops his book in every single video.
I mean, it's his book, so it makes sense because he, again, I
it's
the
her
guidelines.
Book.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious that you are going to say good things about your own book, and it's not any. Yeah, so I think we're pretty.
I think you're
okay on that.
I think you're good. I think you described it perfectly, Travis. Like, the point of it is so that you don't have like a biased opinion going out without knowledge.
Travis, you've mentioned a few times in the video you did on ways to make money on your videos. I'm a Boost member, and I found all the educational videos on the vidIQ site for Boost, but I can't find your video help. So it is in a section called they've made it hard to find this thing. If you go to http://app.vidiq.com/events, I think it is, because they removed it from the thing. I'm still kind of like, what are you doing? /events. So it's app.vidiq.com/events. You will see all of those things that I used to run, the live streams and stuff I used to run for the group coaching. And that you'll see like everything you need to know about monetizing and the really deep diving sessions that we did for what used to be called Max. Thank you both for amazing information you provide to us viewers. Keep up the great work and don't forget your format. Don't change your format. It's great the way it is, and it's the only YouTube help videos that consistently make me laugh.
Oh, we're so
That's
funny.
That was Sean. Thank you, Sean.
Sean, you're the best.
You are the best. We're going to take a quick break in between all of these emails. I'm going to show you guys something. So I was just showing Jen this earlier. YouTube has recently changed some of the subscriber goal plaques and such that you get for hitting 100,000, 1 million, stuff like that. The plaques themselves you still get, but they're smaller. So the silver play button I have for my main channel is it's about the size. I don't even know what the size of it is. It's bigger. It's much bigger than a sheet of paper.
13 by 11, maybe.
Yeah, it's pretty big, right? That's for silver. The gold one's much bigger. The current ones, so the ones that they've changed to, are now about the size of a sheet of paper.
They're so cute.
So yeah, they're much easier to like hold and stuff. They also have a secondary thing, which is this. For those of you watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see this. This is I just ordered this just cause, and it's the play button. It's actual play button rather than a plaque.
It's
you can get in
so
silver, gold.
Cute.
Right, the gold obviously for 1 million, and the silver that I have here is for 100,000. This is what
we're getting for the boost.
Yeah, we're going to get them for the boost, and you can see the engraving on the back. It's cool. It's very heavy. It's the actual play button. So again, if you're listening on audio podcast, you're going to want to jump over to the YouTube channel, which is links in the show notes to be able to see that thing. It's neat. I guess you put it on your desk because the other one I have is hanging. So my play button, which is not even play button, it's a plaque.
I know
now,
it's not a play button anymore, which is so
it's
funny. They've like taken it literally.
Exactly. Now they make a button.
Like, no, they're like the button. You've called it a play button for way too long. Like this has secretly been killing YouTube on the inside. They're like, stop calling it a play button.
Yeah, it's a plaque. Yeah. So now they're like, here's a plaque. Here's a button. Like, Well, here's an interesting side note. Rob Wilson told me that he's just ordering a couple for the vidIQ channel because obviously we're at almost 2 million subscribers. I don't know. He said for like, he seems to imply he's going to do something funny with it. I don't know what that means.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I'm excited.
So that's your little interstitial thing. Okay, here's another question. This one's from Chris. Hey, Jen and Travis. When I started with an editor, he created a 5-second sequence with music and animated logo to place in my videos. Each video would start with my hook, and then a sequence, and then into the main part of the video. I was unsure if it was a good idea, but I thought it looked professional, so I went with it. Having looked at the analytics for the first 4 videos, they each lost about 20% of the viewers between the start and the end of the 5-second sequence. Moving forward, we've stopped using the sequence and we've gone straight to the hook and the meat of the video, which has helped retention. My question is, would you recommend I delete those first 4 videos and post them again without the sequence to see if they do better? And if so, how long do you think I should leave it between the originally posted one and then posting them for the second time? As always, appreciate your feedback. So, Chris, you don't even need to do that. You literally can go into YouTube Studio and just edit it out. It is not a great editor, but it does work.
But it is an editor.
Yes. And that way you don't have to take the old video down. You get to keep all the watch time and everything from it. You just go in there, you hack off the beginning. By the way, we do this on the vidIQ channel for live streams now. So there's an experiment going on the main vidIQ channel where the live streams, which are no longer like channel audits, they kind of talk more about different things now. I think inspired by us, if we're just going to be honest, I think we inspired that change over there at the main channel.
We are so influential.
We are on the razor's edge, Jen.
We have 1,000 subscribers. We are influencers.
Bro, we are super influencers now. What are you talking about? 1,000? That's a lot of people.
The main channel just copying our style.
Bro,
we see you, Dan. We see you, Rob.
We see you. But what they're doing now is, after they live stream it, they go back in and edit off the beginning and the end, and it's performing very well. So, that way you don't have to worry about, and by the way, I've had to use the editor a couple times to blur out things. So I don't remember if I talked about it on this, I don't remember when I talked about it because I've been on a lot of podcasts and stuff lately, but personal information. So I've had it once where I had a video and I think a street I was on or something was on. I had to go back in and blur it, and you can do that in the editor. So I've had to use the editor again, not awesome, not super perfect, but it will 100% do what you're saying. It'll easily take out 5-second intro. So yeah, save yourself the time. Okay, this is an interesting email.
Oh
because the subject, I haven't read it, but the subject is, am I being followed? A love letter you didn't expect. The subjects from our emails
Travis,
are,
this is it.
Ooh, what is happening right now?
This is it, Travis. This is for you.
I don't know. It says, am I being followed? In other words, not me, them. Their name is
Oh,
Robin.
Lord.
I don't know. I don't know
Are
what's
we
going to happen
following
here.
them?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I'm so curious. Here we go.
Love letter.
This one's from Robin. Hey, Jen and Travis. Okay, real talk. Who's following me? Be honest. Did you plant that last episode just for moi? I stumbled upon your podcast, better late than never, right? And the first episode I clicked on felt like it was tapped directly into my brainwaves.
Oh,
naturally,
my
naturally I had to
gosh.
reach out because I'm now convinced you're psychic.
I can't. Robin. What? Can you imagine finding a podcast for like first episode, you click on it and you're just like, why is this speaking directly
What's
to
happening?
me? Why did I click on this right now?
You know, I believe in things like this, though. I believe people end up where they're supposed to be, and it's really up to them to understand if where they are, if they understand where they are is actually where they're supposed to be. A lot of times we fight where we are, right? In life. This is a life thing now. It's not even a YouTube thing. A lot of times we fight where we are because we think we deserve to be in a different place. But a lot of times we're put in a place for a specific reason, to learn something,
Stop. I believe in this.
Yeah, this is the thing.
I'd love to look back on it.
Well, when you graduate from this thing, you get put into another space. Now, the second space is usually harder than the space you were just in, but you have to use some of the skills you learned from the previous space. What do you think about that?
The video game of life.
It is level 2. Yes. Hitting level 2.
That is so true, though.
Okay, let's see what the rest
Robin,
of the email goes.
carry
I'm not
on.
sure. Robin's about to get it. Okay, let's get into it. You were talking about faceless YouTube channels and AI voices and asking if anyone's doing it for reasons other than a quick buck. Well, sit down and hold this plot twist. It's me. Yes, I'm the unicorn you've been wondering about.
You're the unicorn we've been looking for.
You are it. Okay. Now, let me explain before you start thinking I'm another hopeful YouTube millionaire. I think anyone who listens to The Boost is in it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
I really do. I truly believe that. And I think this because I see the comments and emails and things we get. And these are people that really care and they really want to learn. They really want to understand. And that's why we created this. That's why we kind of rebranded Tube Talk. And we've kind of done all these things specifically to reach out to a specific group of creators that are in a space. Jen and I talked about this for a while before we kind of dug into this. And we really believe in it. So I don't think that's what you are. But let's continue. I'm creating this faceless channel as a love letter to my 91-year-old mother-in-law, Connie. Yes, you read that right. Mother-in-law. Cue the gasps. She likes to tell everyone that I'm her best friend, but the truth is she's mine too. She's basically Wonder Woman minus the cape, but definitely with the invisible jet. Connie is the kind of woman that can make even a cactus feel loved. She's deeply religious, and though I'm not a Christian myself, I've witnessed how her faith is like a warm blanket, especially as she battles Alzheimer's. The only thing that can hold her attention these days is Christian YouTube videos. So, of course, in my infinite wisdom, I decided to create one just for her. Why not? How hard could it be? Let me tell you, hard. So much hurting cats. Robin is my
favorite email ever. How hard could it be? Let me tell you.
So much hurting cats. I have 30 scripts ready to go, written by ministers and Christians from all over the globe. You think I was building the pyramids with how long it's taken me to turn those into actual videos. Between my full-time job, other business, and caring for Connie, I've stacked my plate so high that Life's Buffet, that I'm wondering if I should ask for a to-go box. We do have the best viewers in the history of any podcast. Did I mention I'm flying to China in a few hours for my daughter's wedding? Because why do one thing when you can do all the things at once?
I have that same mentality.
Yeah, well, this is true. Jen's flying to somewhere. I'm not going to say where because by the time they hear this, you'll be out of there by then. So it doesn't
New York's
matter.
a big city. It's all right.
New York's a big city. Plus, you won't be there by the time they hear this. She's flying to New York. So yeah. Because why do one thing when you can do all the things at once? Forget dreams of YouTube fortune. Right now, I'll be happy if I get one video uploaded. I'll consider that a win. But seriously, I do hope to monetize the channel eventually, mainly to cover the costs of hiring script writers, thumbnail artists. Wow, I can't believe she's doing all this. And maybe one day donate to causes that Connie cares about, like hunger relief and housing. But for now, it's all about creating meaningful content while she's here with us mentally, one AI voice at a time. That's my little story. I love your podcast, both useful and fun, a rare combo. Thanks for all the resources. I can't wait to see what's next. Take care, Robin. Wow. 10 of 10 would recommend reading that again.
Wow. First of all, let's inform Robin that there is a nonprofit partner program within YouTube, something that you should look into. Also, you also have the fundraiser option for videos. I don't know at what point you actually get to set that. I don't know if you need to be monetized or not, actually.
Oh, man, that's a good question.
But
that's a good question.
There's lots of options that would work in your favor, especially the nonprofit partner program, which I feel like most people don't even know exists. But yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, I mean, so I try to tell creators two things that I think are really easy to forget, and when you are faced with them can be kind of life-changing. Number one, you never know who's watching your videos.
Never.
Right? And then number two, you never know what impact your videos are having on someone. Nope. So let's start with the first one. You never know who's watching your videos. I found out for a full year that there was a guy, a TV producer, watching my videos, and then reached out to me after a year to have me do some content on a syndicated television program for a while. And he said, I've been watching you for like a year, and I've been pitching you to my producer and everything, and finally, we're ready to go. We'd love to have you do these things. That's amazing. So you never know, right? Which also means pay attention to what you say.
Oh, the other part of it. I know. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. Be careful what you say online. It never goes anywhere. It goes everywhere, and it never can't pull it back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then secondarily, you never know what the impact is. I think I've read this before somewhere, but I don't think I've read it on the Boost. I will find it real quick. There's a comment left on my channel I've never forgotten about.
Oh, I think we did do this.
The autistic thing?
Yeah.
So if we did, okay. So I won't reread it then. So the point is...
Yeah, but read it for Robin.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, because she probably didn't hear that. I don't even remember what episode. That probably was one of the first episodes we did before we were shooting video, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that would have been.
For real though.
For real though. All right, let's see. Search, and then I can
Also, I feel like this is a movie.
What's that?
This is like a modern day love story of like you weren't writing love letters to this person, you were making them AI YouTube videos.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought that little subject and asking about it would have been like so cool.
Connie's getting through with prayer. No idea that it's coming from Robin.
Right? Like who knew?
This is a cinematic dream.
So 6 years ago, when I was making the content, I have like a little intro that used to be in all my videos and stuff, and it was very branded. It was mine. It was my music. I didn't make the music, but it was about me. And it was just a little hook that I used as part of my intro. It was like 5 seconds long, as the other creator was talking about. But it became a part of my brand, and I even had people joking in my comment section that if I ever like remove the intro, that they would stop watching my channel. They loved it that much. But you don't think anything of it. And then I got this comment 6 years ago from this person that said, "My daughter is autistic, and your opening music sparks something in her. Thanks." Ooh, gosh, that hit me so hard. My best friend's son is autistic, and I love that kid. And every time I hear that, every time I read that comment, it just gets to me. Ugh.
So sweet.
So to read this past email about how she's doing this, not for herself. Let me say that again. This channel is not for herself. It is for a loved one. And gosh, this is a rough one.
This is amazing.
Yeah. What an incredible gift.
Getting Connie through on prayers.
Oh. Phenomenal. I love it. All right. We have a couple more questions left. Let's go ahead and finish those out before everyone starts just bawling their eyes out and goes, I can't watch podcasts anymore. All right. This one's from Crystal. Crystal says, "Hi, Jen and Travis. Last year, I pivoted my 140K sub channel from drug education to art education. Whoa. Hoofda. It was crazy difficult, but now seems to be finally gaining traction with my new audience." Okay. I'm going to check this channel out in a minute because there's some things I'm doing on my personal channel, and I love to see this. I teach artists how to sell art online and at art fairs. Most of my traffic is evergreen content from YouTube search, but every once in a while, a video will get browse traffic from the homepage and substantially more views in the first couple of weeks than my other videos.
Makes
But
sense.
the only way I've gotten this to happen is to make videos about big mistakes that are destroying artist sales with a frowny face thumbnail pointing accusingly to text saying something like, "Don't do this." I don't always feel like wagging my finger at the audience, telling them not to do something. I want to put a positive spin on what to create. What should I do to get more browse views on my packaging that is more positive? Okay, I'm glad I love a question like this because it's deep.
Mhm.
And I love that we have even larger creators listening to the podcast. I have had to talk about this exact thing to so many creators over the course of my coaching career, and I'm sure you have too, Jen. Like, let's be honest, negativity sells. It's not a fun thing.
Bad news gets good views. Always.
Sing it. Sing that chorus.
Bad news gets good views. Did you not mean literally?
No, I mean, I kind of like it now. I'm going to try to put that into a jingle now, put some AI music behind it. No, that was great, actually. It's true. Like, think about all the things. Like, news itself is mostly bad news. That's why I haven't watched news in years, because it's just all bad news, and it's because people watch it. Same thing with YouTube videos. The negative spin will always get more than the positive spin, and I actually have proof of this as a large YouTube content creator. A couple of years ago, and do I still have the screenshots on my desktop? Because I even just saw them the other day. He released 2 videos back to back about the same basic subject, but one was a positive spin and one was a negative spin. And while he didn't outwardly say this was a test of anything, it was a test of something. And man, if I can find the screenshots, I kept them because it was such a cool thing. But I remember seeing them on my desktop like 2 days ago, but I probably deleted them. Like, I don't need that anymore.
Darn it.
Anyway, needless to say, the negative one got like 1 million more views than the positive one.
Yeah.
And that's the unfortunate reality. Now, having said that, doesn't mean you can't have successful positive videos. Jen has all types of positive videos. Your videos are always positive.
True. I think it just comes down to yourself as a creator. If you don't want to play that game anymore, you don't have to. That's what it is, though. That's playing the game. That's consciously making a decision that you know is going to be chasing the views, even if it's against what you want to be making, which is totally fine. Because if that's what you're trying to do, that is what you know is proven it's going to work. There are tons of creators who stand against that and refuse to have negative energy take away the light shining on positive content that they put out there. And again, that's just the decision. I think it's totally fine to mix it up. When you have information like that is negative, that are mistakes, that is warning someone, just leading with fear in any type of way, you can still put a positive spin to the content itself, but use those sparingly. Like when that information is actually, what that is. I wouldn't try to intentionally spin positives into negatives, especially if you're aware of this and it doesn't sound like a direction you want to keep heading in.
So I found the screenshots. They are still on my desktop. And they were by a tech YouTube channel. And it was, this was a couple years ago. And one video was called, "You Should Buy the New iPhone SE." And the other one was called, "You Don't Buy the New iPhone SE." The buy the iPhone SE is interestingly, the only difference between the 2 thumbnails is the iPhone is white and the don't buy is a black iPhone. Not that matters, but that's the only difference in thumbnail. The buy was 3 million views and the don't buy was 3.6 million views. So people, want to know the negative thing. It's unfortunate that that's what things tend to be. But again, that should not in any way discourage you from doing the stuff that you want to do. Just because, and it doesn't mean also that you can't use that to your advantage. Like, obviously there's the don't do this or things. And if you see it on the vidIQ main channel, you'll see we do it there too. We know. We're fully aware.
What we're doing.
We know. It doesn't mean you can't still do the other things. If you want a spike in views, obviously you can go for the negative spin on certain things, but be very selective so that when people come to your channel, they know that they're walking away with a positive kind of feeling through everything, and not should it matter? I mean, it depends on what your end goal is. Like I always say, everything always depends on what you're trying to accomplish. At the end of the day, you have to be happy with and content with and proud of the content you're putting out. And if you're just putting out stuff that's just negative and just because it gets views, but that's the only reason you're putting it out, you're not going to like the content. You're not going to like the channel. You're not going to have a good time. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Just continue to do the positive stuff. As far as going through browse is an indication of other types of content that your viewers like. And there's lots of ways to kind of get into that. Have I done a video about that? So there is a Max session, which we were talking about before, that there's videos you can watch, and I was telling the app.vidIQ.com, where how the YouTube algorithm works, and it explains all of those things. Maybe next episode or something, we'll take some questions, and then Jen and I will just talk about how the YouTube algorithm actually works and different aspects on like what that means. Maybe we'll do that. So without getting too deep into that right now, let's just say that I like that you have identified that there's a difference between that. Like that sometimes being negative gets more views. That is just normal. But again, find something you're happy with and proud of, ultimately.
I would say use it sparingly.
Yes.
Like, don't let someone come to your channel and then all your top content is mistakes, like regrets, you know.
Yeah.
Then they're like, oh my God, well, where do I start?
What a hard pivot, though. I mean, from like a drug education channel, that's a wild
I mean, at least
pivot.
education is that common link. So
yeah,
that makes sense to pivot. But dang. And I also love that we're hearing that it took a year, because I think that is spot on.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get to these last couple of emails. We're almost done. Ivan emails says, hello, Travis, Jen, and or people that may or may not possibly be there. I am MC Ivan. It's a channel that primarily focuses on tutorials, but also make entertainment videos every now and then. I found the podcast through vidIQ, who I've been subscribed to for about 7 months before I started my channel in January. When I first started out, I was going strong. I grew a lot, getting about 50 subs in the first month. 100 in the next. And I even got bigger and more content, even better. In April, I managed to post a video that skyrocketed past all of my previous videos, and it managed to bring in hundreds of subs. And by June, I was getting a consistent stream of about 20 views per hour. At that time, I managed to make multiple videos that easily made it past 1K views. Wow. And I managed to get a lot of success on shorts, getting well past 4K views on a bad day. However, that all stopped. At the beginning of July, my big videos suddenly started getting impressions, and my big video suddenly stopped getting impressions, and a few weeks later, not a single one of my shorts could get past 20 views, some of which had most people watching to the very end, and 100% of the people watched instead of swiping away. Wow. My main question is how to increase impressions again so that people can see the videos I work so hard on. It seems like no matter what I do, my impressions on YouTube won't go up. Though, if there is another more important question I should be asking, I would love to know the answer to that too. I love that he's open to that. At one point, I did consider that I've been shadow banned, though I've grown enough to know that's not real, so I've limited it out that possibility.
See? Look at that.
I wish you and everyone else success on your YouTube journey. Also, congratulations on 1,000 subs. Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I just want to say this person would benefit greatly from a coach.
Yeah, I agree with this.
Not pushing it. I'm just saying this is a situation that works really wonderfully for one-on-one coaching.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot to cover here. One of the things that they mentioned is that impressions went down quite a bit. And we see this happen from time to time. And by the way, in a way, so for the longest time, for multiple weeks in a row on this channel, we were doing 1 of 10s. Like every podcast was beating the last podcast. Every podcast was beating the last podcast. And over the last week and a half or so, and by the way, for those of you that are newer to the podcast, we started this YouTube channel while doing the audio podcast and kind of documenting our journey. The past week and a half, impressions and views are down overall, kind of. We had a little spike and then things are kind of slowing down. And that's normal for most YouTube channels. So right now, we have a lot of videos that aren't hitting the 1 of 10 anymore, but we're still, piling on the views and piling on the subscribers. So we're happy with that. When it happens to a content creator who doesn't necessarily have a lot of experience in seeing all this stuff, it can be like, wait, what just happened? Like, why? What did I do wrong? Like, what's going on? Am I shadow banned? All these questions start to arise. And a lot of times, and I think this is probably more specifically to shorts than long form, although it could definitely apply there. You have to remember, views on shorts are impressions. They're not views. I mean, they are views, but they're not views. Impressions for long form mean you looked at the thumbnail, but you didn't necessarily click. You could have. That's where your click-through rate comes in, but you might not have. There's no such thing as that on a short. On the short shelf, it just comes up, and you either swipe away or you don't, right? So that view is an impression, and it could be that all that time YouTube was testing your content against, a bunch of people, and then it started to go, okay, it actually, even though you were seeing the views, those were quote failing, and YouTube's like, okay, well, we won't show to those people again, and then it just keeps going shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see my hands going together. That's possible. I see that happen on shorts quite often. Long form content can happen the same way. But the one thing that you said that's really interesting is that you said most people watching to the very end and 100% of the people watch versus swiping away. That's an interesting statistic, because typically that means that you should be getting more impressions. However, I've seen wacky stuff. What comes to your mind in hearing all this?
It's a tough one. I've seen a few situations over the past year that were just inexplainable for creators, and they specifically needed to reach out to YouTube themselves to see if something was going on. Without seeing this person's analytics or anything, I would chalk it up to saying this is how YouTube works. It's not the fun part of YouTube, that's for sure. But it's never going to be a linear experience. You're never just going to keep growing and growing, and things look so good. And, maybe I didn't get as many subscribers, but I'm still growing. Nope.
Right.
Nope. YouTube's got to kick you back down first. It really is like ups and downs. And if you speak to other creators, you'll understand that they'll also be familiar with those low points where it's like you literally can't break out of an 8 of 10 no matter what video you put out, no matter what you do, what title, what thumbnail you do. You just can't break it out. And then eventually you do, and you're back on that high.
Yeah. I will say this, and I'm about to say something now, and I guarantee you 1,000% sure at least one person, if not many people, will go, that's me, as I say this. If you've been looking at your analytics, and if you've been doing videos over the last 3 weeks, now, of course, we're recording this mid-September, the last 3 weeks, and your views have gone down, that's normal. School's back in. This happens every year, and people always are like, what's happening? Everything's dying. Happens right before summer, happens in January, and happens right around this time. It just goes down. Now, the good news is, in a couple of weeks, as we go into the holiday season, or month or so away, those views are going to go up. The RPMs are going to go up. If you're monetized, CPMs go up. Everything's great. Lots of views coming in the holiday season. So this is just kind of normal for this time of year. So don't panic. Continue to create new content. Look at your analytics, as we always say. Look at your retention graphs. Make sure you're not losing people. All those things. Like all those things. I think it's important to never think that you've figured it out. You have never completely figured it out. Always got to get better. Always have to change.
That's
Last
true.
email. This is from Melbourne Superman. We've heard of him before. Subject matter says, keep going. Hey, Jenn and Travis. Just want to drop a line and say hi. I've been away trying to get my channel going. Lots of Superman news coming, so it's working well. Just want to try to give some advice to the ones out there getting discouraged from slow growth. It will happen if you stick with it. To improve one thing, try to improve one thing every video. Now, I want to, before I continue to read this, I know that Jenn just said this earlier in the podcast. We did not read this email beforehand to make sure she would say that before this. This email came in and says this, and she said this earlier.
Right now,
we are in tune with our viewers. Okay, that's what's happening. Don't push it away. Love it. Embrace
keep going. I am embracing the
going.
love.
Here we go. Try to improve one thing every video. This has really helped me. My 10 of 10 used to be videos with 5 views in the first few hours. Now my 10 of 10 are videos that get 1,500 views in the first hours. Stick with it. Ride the highs and walk off the lows. Don't be ready for the lows. Do be ready for the lows. They don't go away. But it's worth it if you can stick it out. Who knows where my channel will go? Will I ever get to 100,000 subscribers? I don't know. But if I don't stick through the lows, I definitely won't. Keep going. Tell your story. Find your niche. That's Andrew. Funny how we almost just got done saying that, And I'm
Andrew.
being 100% honest. I did not pre-read that email. That email just actually came in not that long ago, so I haven't had a chance to even look at the subject.
What is even the timing that gets read at that moment? Like right after I just said all that.
It's the last email of the day. There's no possible way I could have done that. That's just, and remember I was saying earlier, sometimes things are supposed to happen at specific times.
Yeah.
This is
Andrew's
an
just
example.
coming in here with credibility to like how we're ending the podcast. He's like, yeah, no, what she said is true.
Yeah, that thing. Even though I couldn't possibly know you were going to say that, then it's that thing.
No. It's that. Everything you just said is accurate. What?
This has been one of the more interesting episodes of the podcast. We hope you have loved and enjoyed it, and certainly have shared it with all of your YouTuber friends. If you want to reach out to us, of course, you can email us at theboost@vidIQ.com, or in the show notes of the audio podcast, there's a text me link. You can text us there too. And of course, next time we will be doing the both from text and email. And actually, Jen, I know you're going to be away during next week, but I think we're still going to be able to record, right? You're still going to be.
The podcast goes on.
Yes.
The podcast goes on.
Jen will either be here or she won't. But she
I might
will
not have
definitely
great audio, but I'll be here.
She'll be here. Everyone else, we thank you so much for all the incredible support. And man, what an incredible episode this has been. And to hear more from our community, we love it. And we love all of y'all. So let's make this next week of video creating better than the last one.